Well, we're back at it here this morning, guys. Let's hop in this tractor, run back to the house, get this spreader unhooked and get the other spreader, and we'll get back over here and see if we can get that pile of poop to disappear today. What's that?
You want to turn your task controller off? Is it off? Yeah, you probably didn't turn it on. Yeah.
No, I did not hit start.
Okay. Somebody you have that off before you unplug it. I think if you go back to the corn planter, it'll screw it up or something. I've heard that guy say they've had to run back to that implement and plug it back in to turn it off or something. That struggles to come off. Why? I don't know. What's that?
All right, guys. John and Bug's going to work on the planter today again. They're taking the gauge wheels and gauge wheel arms off. We put them back on. We're actually going to put new gauge wheels back on it. We put new opening disc on it last year. John's trying to check the gap between the two blades and make sure they're shimmed right. Slide two business cards in there until they pinch, and then there's supposed to be a distance between them there. What's that distance on these blades? 2 inches. So we're pretty close there. Have you checked those three behind you already?
Got those.
Well, you're gonna move along pretty quick if you ain't got to re-shim none of them.
Oh, everything's been pretty good.
We're gonna take skid steer to the hog house and get the meters and mini boxes.
Yep.
And then we gotta start doing health checks on the electrical system and the air system once I get everything buckled up back here. Well, we're sitting with a 1/4 tank of fuel, so we're this close to the house. Let's go ahead and top this thing off and see how much fuel this 3/4 of a tank will take to fill up. All right, we've got the New Holland 195 spreader hooked up now, and you're going to see it going to spread a little different pattern. It won't spread as wide as that other spreader did, but it looks small, but this stuff here is wet and heavy, so we're get going with it. Well, guys, I've been making some pretty good ground on this pile, but we have broken a drive chain, so I'm gonna have to run over to the shop and get some parts, and then I'll be back and get this fixed and see if we can get going again. Well, we're back out of here on that chain, up the 40 link chain. Just the master link had fell apart on it, or come apart and let the chain come loose. We had a new master link in the shop, so got it throwed in there and back in business again. You can see this spreader here doesn't spread quite as wide, and it's putting out a lot at one time, so we're traveling a pretty good ground speed here, trying to get it put on thin enough but we got to drive 12 foot apart. So, but the potency of this cow manure versus that turkey manure, this cow manure is not quite as hot, so it's going to look like it's being put on thicker, but there's not quite as much nutrients there with it. Well, we've got this pile here all cleaned up, and we've still got field left to get spread, so we're going to have to go towards the house or towards the feeding pad where we feed cows. So it's about 2 miles south, 2.5 miles. I still probably need 20 loads over here, so it's going to take a little longer with the road time, but we need to get this field covered, so let us get equipment moved and get set up, and we'll keep on hauling, I guess. Well, we're set up hauling load manure here out of the manure pit at our feeding pad. You can see ladies up there eating their supper tonight. But means it's got a concrete floor in it. We can use the skid steer to load this here, so let me get set up and get loaded, and we're back on the road. All right, it's 6:44, and we're loaded and pulling out. So let's see how long it takes to make a round trip. All right, guys, I'm back here at the manure pile again. 7 o'clock, so that was 16 minutes. Go over there, unload, and get back. That's not counting loads. So probably loading, it's going to be 20 minutes a round trip. From the field to here is 1.6 miles one way. So 1.6 miles of road travel. So it's going to take some time, and that load there did 3/10 of an acre. So it takes 3 loads to do an acre. So pretty much an acre an hour is what it's going to figure up hauling from here. Well, we've took off this morning and gathered up what hay we've got sitting out in the field yet, or it's stacked along the edge of the field, but got 12 bales on here now. We'll see if he can get out of here on his own. I might have to push him. Yep, he's spinning, so.
Give me a push.
Let's see if we can push him up out of here now. It sure is tight getting out of here with hay and equipment. That couple trees are right in the way, but they're on another landowner, so there ain't much we can do about it besides just sucking it in and going for it. All right, on that other farm, we had 3 bales of hay we've got on the front there. Then we've come up here and
Am I coming?
put 11 bales of straw on. You're clear. And that got all of our straw here cleaned up too, so we're headed to the house and get these unloaded again and see what our next adventure is for the day here. Well, we've been hauling shit again here this evening. Quite a bit going on. John's coming back up the hill to skid steer there. He's went and unloaded chemicals and some seed. And I took a break here to see what he had going on with the planter. Here's the old gauge wheels we've took off. They are 4.5 inches wide, solid center. You see the new ones we've put on has spoke centers and they're only 3 inches wide, so trying something a little different there. I believe this thing's getting pretty close to some test run. Alright, we're on the 3rd day of this video, I think. That manure pit we was hauling out of is right down there behind that silage pit we just built. I stayed at it last night and got it emptied. We need a few more loads of manure to cover that field. So we've come up here and started cleaning the feedlot out. And probably 3 loads of this will get that field covered. I would say that chain's probably plenty big to hold a gate, but I guess that's what he used. Well, my manure stopped coming out of here. Jump out to see what's going on. Well, phone call, hang on. Well, like I said, I noticed the manure not coming out, and I got back here. Big old clump of hay trash right there he's picked up and put in there. That's one reason we switched spreaders when we went to that other manure, so this didn't happen, but we've got a ball of it here we're going to try and dig out. got some of it dug out. There's more up in there, but let's go try it and see what it does. I think it's all come out. It just won't drop down on the spinners. Kind of got everything balled up here. Got everything cleaned off, so we'll take off. That should do it. Got poop flying again now, so hopefully we don't have too much more hay trash down in there. But I think one more load after this is gonna have this field done. We're gonna be spreading for a couple days here. We started doing some tillage yesterday evening. The hired hand's coming today to get that fired up. We gotta get this tractor on the bean planter, see if we can get it set up and rolling today. Well, we got that field covered with manure. We ended up taking 3 loads out of the feedlot, so some of you guys will recognize where I'm at. We've come up to logger weights. Sawmill, go get some new sawdust to go put back for bedding for those calves. So see if we can get backed in here and see if there's a loader around and get loaded. Trying to get the door shut here because it's gonna get a little dusty, it looks like here. Raining sawdust on us. back at the feed yard here and spreading this sawdust out for bedding. We used to go get sawdust in a semi and just dump it in a pile and spread it with the skid steer, but we found out it's just as easy to run this tractor spreader up there and get it and back in here and turn it on. It does a pretty nice job spreading everything out. Well, John put the feeder back in here and brought the calves back in while I was unhooking that spreader. So they are back in here getting their bellies full, eating hay, feed, and they got water in the trough there. So when they first come in here at new bedding, they kicking and carrying on, but these calves will be around about another month, maybe 5 weeks, and then they'll be ready to hit the market then. We got the planter hooked up away from the shop. We gotta go over here to the barn and put some seed in it, do a few more tests on it, but I'm hoping we're gonna be in the field this evening planting some soybeans. You ready?
Yeah.
So we're dumping a graphite talc mixture on this seed. The graphite is lubricant, so the seed goes through the system. But on these vacuum planters, there's a plastic disc that spins in there where these beans are. The talc will keep it from getting static electricity. If it gets built up too much static electric, the bean will not fall out of the plate. So we're transferring boxes with them here and putting some treatment on them, so when it dumps out of this box into the planter, it'll get mixed in better. Tip that forward. Do you think it's all out of there? All right. So we've bought this box opener, box bullet at the Farm Machinery Show in February. Supposed to help assist opening and closing these boxes for a one-person job. Yep, you got it. This will be the first time we've used it. Just runs a Milwaukee battery or a DeWalt battery on there. Got a power button. I don't know which way's on and which way's off, but we're going to try this thing out today and see if it works. All right, John. Usually this is one person's here and he's in the skid steer. It's a pain to get out and get up here and open this box. This apparatus comes with a handy little remote. And so you can see seed going in there. So it looks like this thing, if it holds up, it's going to be pretty nice. So somebody could have this remote in the skid steer and fill these tanks on the planter themselves. But it's got an open, close, and a stop button. Do what? You want me to shut it off? It's about full there. All right, let's go to the other side. Well, that's pretty slick, I'd have to say. I don't know how long that battery's gonna last, but hope you guys can tell that gray powder is that graphite we put in there, or talc mixture. And we got both containers just about the same, so we need to do a couple more tests here and then we're going to head to the field. Cross thread?
Looks like it.
I don't know what the hell you... to apologize for the dirty window. It got some hydraulic oil sprayed on it. Now the dust is stuck to it, but we're up and rolling. Took us just a few minutes to get the depth set and get a few other tweaks. We've knocked out about 12 acres here in the last 45 minutes, so we've got one issue with the planter. It is one unit. It is planting seed, but the computers tell me it's not planting. We have messed with it. This is all aftermarket parts on this planter, precision planting. And my precision planting mechanic is on his way. He was 2.5 hours away, but he will be here. This is Friday evening, so he will get here about 5:30 this evening. And he'll stay with it until we get her fixed and get it reading. We're gonna go ahead and run second shift here tonight while we're out here. I'd like to get this farm done that we're working on. We got about 17 acres to go on it. Shouldn't take too long. There's small chances of rain tonight and tomorrow. I just like to get this farm finished up while things are dry, but out here running at night, we gotta watch for obstacles in the field. We got a utility pole here we gotta work around. Awful easy to forget about things like that when you're put in a long day and it starts getting dark. Always got to be looking. Got it running pretty smooth now. Got all the bugs worked out of it, and I'm sure something else will pop up here, but we're going to run it like we stole it for now. I think we're on day 3 of this video, so kind of getting to be a cluster here in the barnyard. We're getting ready to top off with beans again. The accelerator come in for fuel. He's moving fields. We've got the sprayer ready to roll, getting ready to load it up. I got that 50 acres done last night. We've missed the rain. We're supposed to miss rain today. Now they're putting rain back on us for later this evening, but that's the name of farming, is you just keep going. Well, today John's got the remote in the skid steer, and he's operating that by himself, so he's trying to learn how to use it here so he can don't spill no beans. We're gonna go ahead and top both tanks off with beans. This should last me this evening if the rain comes in. More, John, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Stop. You're about empty. Let me move them around. All right, see if the rest of them will go in there, John. You all the way open? Oh yeah, that'll be good. That box is empty now. Shut it.
We just got done with this side, now we're going over to this have it on yet? Point it to the box, Howard. You're not pointing to the box, Howard.
Tell them to blow.
Tell Maddie when it gets full, okay?
Good.
Well, we got to the new farm up here, and got 13 acres planted. There's 90 acres on this farm, but we just got moisture, quite a bit of moisture. Pop-up thunderstorm just come through. Looks like it's gonna last 15-20 minutes, maybe at the most, in and out, but we're gonna have to park the planter here for a couple hours, see if the sun will come back out, or we might have to park it for the day. So tomorrow is Easter Sunday. We had plans on keep on running, but maybe we're just going to park everything for a day. We're going to wrap this one up and call it a video. So thanks for watching, guys.